Third part of Lorimer's bar, the fans wanted to know about Joel Ward, a player who almost joined Leeds in the summer.
No, he's a good mate of mine. I spoke to him before. I wanted him to come here, and I tried to get him to come. But I think at the time, the club was in a position and I was lucky enough to come in early as I did. And I think they could only bring myself in. They wanted to bring Joel in, and at the time, Joel had other options on the table at the time, and he took the option where things can change in football quite quickly, and he wanted to make sure he had that stability in signing a 4-year deal. He chose at Crystal Palace at the time, so that's the reason he did. Really, he did want to come. Obviously, there's quite a few players he knows here, and obviously I was disappointed, but that's the choice he made.
The audience then asked Jamie Ashdown about saving penalties and whether he always knew which way he was going to dive.
Not always. Sometimes I've waited, and it's been too late. So yeah, it's not always, but the majority of saves are made by people that go and stick to a side that they're gonna go, unless it's put down the middle. You can't do much about, and that's a bit of a gamble, really. So I think that's the best way to do it, really, is stick to one side and go for it.
Are you happy with that? Yeah, he's happy with that one.
Okay, brilliant.
I've seen you though, Andy, looking at all these videos, little pictures of he takes penalties here, he takes it this way, he takes it that way. Yeah. Something you discussed before.
We have, the lads in the IT department. Alex Davis does a great job with the match reports and coordinating the match reports. And we have all the penalties that people have taken. It's an indication, it's a guideline, but it's not always where it's going to be. Paddy did a good job the other week because Mikel Smith does it down the middle, and Paddy did stood as long as he could for the first one. And there was a slight move to the right, and then he has smashed it down the middle, and you think, well, should have stood up. And then the next one, he says, right, I'm going to go. He sort of bantered him a bit and saying, you're going to have to choose a side now because I know where you're going. And he was fortunate to go the right way, and he threw everything behind it. So as a goalkeeper, you can't lose, really. You do your look at what information you're given. But the way that these lads can sort of move a ball these days, they can put it anywhere they want, just about. So, as Jamie says, sometimes if you're strong on one side, or you feel they're strong on one side, you probably pick that side and maybe go for it. So, yeah.
Jason, ever been a penalty taken?
No.
Man of many words. Peter, you took a few any time.
Yeah, I took penalties. One of the things, like Jason said, that he picks a side. All goalkeepers have a strong side, and they watch you taking penalties, but you also watch them when you see them playing in games before. When it's a penalty, or even when somebody's through, you usually find most goalkeepers like to go one way or the other. They always have a preference slightly for one side or the other. And you, as a penalty taker, watch them like they watch you. So it's just what happens on the day, basically, because they think they know what you're going to do, and you think you know what they're going to do. And if you miss it, they were right, and if you score it, they were wrong. It's plain and simple.
Excellent. I'm getting to use it's just my feet. The slow that attached to my legs.
I always thought when Peter took penalties, the goalkeeper tried to get out of the way.
Yeah. Dickie Guy didn't save the one, didn't he? Wimbledon down here. God, that was we're on about embarrassing times. That was when we played Wimbledon. Remember when they were non-league in the cup down here? Dickie Guy saved a penalty. Shocking penalty as well, it was. Deserved to save it. Now, yeah, probably that's what you should do. If you hit the ball firm and you hit it, off the ground, I think keepers have got a chance from the waist high down. They've got a chance on anything. But if you hit it well and it's high, not many keepers have got a chance of saving it. You know, you watch penalties, and the ones that go with a bit of pace and the high up, the keeper, because they've got to try and push at the same time to get up there. It's much easier for a keeper to get across and down than it is to push up and get there.
I mean, anything that's put sort of in the side of the goals, you know, if you can put anything there, the bend into there, you're going to score nearly every time. And I think Peter's right, the higher ones, as a keeper, if you're tall, you've got height, you always feel so vulnerable to the ones low, so that's what you try and protect. So if you've got the ability to do it, I think it's different in the big tournaments, because I think then the pressure then turns on to the next players coming to take the penalty. You know, if in a one-off situation, you know, it's like snooker, the more frames you play, the more chance you have of saving a few. I mean, look at the playoff final for Sheffield United and Huddersfield. He gets about 10-all this year. And then Steve Simerson, of all people, who I've worked with at Sheffield United myself, is a great lad, and he ends up missing the penalty on the day when the two keepers, it's down to the two keepers. And, you know, that's unfortunate, but, yeah, it's entertaining for the crowd, I think, but I think for the people involved, there's too much at stake.
Jamie was then asked which Leeds United goalkeeper is the best he's ever seen.
Oh, apart from me.
After you, of course.
I was brought up with Nigel Martin, so yeah, for me, it's you know, as a boy you look up to people, and I think when you're sort of 8, 9, 10, that's sort of they're the sort of people that stick in your mind for forever, really, like Peter Shilton's and you know, that sort of age bracket. So yeah, Nigel for me.
Talk then turned to the latest product of Leeds United's academy at Thorpe Arch, young midfielder Chris Dawson.
Chris he's impressed. Mick Jones, you know, watches a lot of the youth stuff and training and everything, and thought he warranted a place there. He's in stature at the moment, you know, he's still growing, but he's very good on the ball, and he's a tidy player. He played in the game today against Carlisle. Put a lovely crossing for Andy Gray to score in the reserve game up at Thorpe Arch. You know, it's early days for him at the moment, but I think even the lads here have seen him train. He's been involved in our training sessions and been quite impressed with him, you know, as a midfield player. So, you know, I think it's one for the future. And he's a good lad to have around, as they all are. You know, Sam Byram and people like that, they're an absolute credit. And the way they apply themselves and integrate into the dressing room and actually get the respect of these lads pretty quickly. You know, it bodes well for the future, really.
That's it for part 3 of Lorimer's. Join us for more very soon.